Hello again, this is Rick Wegley, and this is Ask NCM, where we do our best to answer questions from our clients from around the country. Every fixed operations class that we teach in some way, shape, or form, we're going to end up talking about wholesale parts at some point, whether it's a service class and they're concerned about their technicians being taken care of, or whether it's a parts department class and we're looking at the amount of wholesale we do versus the cost of being in wholesale. All right, so I want you to understand that in a typical NCM client store, about 80% of all of the sales and about 85% of all of the gross profit through the parts department is generated through the service department, or our internal customer, if you will. Okay, so wholesale can be a really great added profit center for a parts department, but if you're not focusing enough attention on taking care of your service department, you may be limiting your growth in your parts department as well as costing the dealership overall money on that. My simple analogy for this dilemma is just to keep it like this. You're either in wholesale or you're out of wholesale. If you try to dabble in wholesale, in most cases you're going to find that you're going to be losing money in wholesale. Two simple considerations for that. The first one would be for almost every dollar of labor that we sell through the service department, there's going to be an average of 35 to 45 cents of parts gross profit generated by that dollar labor sale. So that's important to understand that relationship. Okay, a lot of times we have a disconnect between those two departments and what their goals are. The second thing you have to understand is that for every part that you wholesale, there's an associated cost of sale, and you're going to get that cost of sale is also going to be impacted because you're going to have a lower margin on those parts that you're selling wholesale than you do when you sell them retail or through a customer through your shop on that. Okay, so be very aware of those tangible costs related to inventory management, special order processes, delivery expenses, and other potential things like possibly client returns. If they return parts to your store, you know, you've got a cost associated with returning them, particularly if they were special orders or damaged or opened. Okay, so we have to be very aware of that. I never tell clients to get out of wholesale. I do ask them, advise them to go back and really look at what their true profitability is, or possibly lack thereof, when they're trying to do a wholesale operation in a dealership. Watch your margins closely. Are they healthy? The margins will vary by brand and by region. The luxury lines tend to carry a little bit higher margins on wholesale as opposed to possibly, especially domestic stores and competitive markets. They may carry lower margins on that. But keep an eye on the receivables. Past due accounts can really get you into trouble quickly, or maybe you notice a sudden increase in purchases from one of your clients and you think, hey, this is wonderful, he's buying a lot or she's buying a lot more from me. The fact is they might have got their credit cut off someplace else, so they're increasing their spend with your store because you're still floating them on the money. Okay, so just always be aware of things that might be coming on the horizon on that. Look at all of your individual accounts on a monthly basis and ask yourself, are they meeting the minimum volume expectations that you arranged when they opened their account? If their sales are dropping off and we're still not getting much margin on that, maybe it's time to review what we're charging them on their market for their specific accounts. This is something that probably should be reviewed on a monthly basis, and you don't want to change margins on a customer or client without having a conversation with them. But if we're going to sell at a low price to those people, because they're typically competing with you in most cases, you're selling your parts at a discounted price to one of your competitors, is to understand that we have the right to retain margin on that. And you don't have to have one margin for all of your customers, but we have to have a healthy margin overall, or we're going to be losing in wholesale. Last but not least, I want you to be aware of those tangible costs of wholesale operations: space, insurance that you're paying on parts that you're holding in inventory, taxes that we pay on the inventory that we hold particularly for that, and most importantly, the time that we spend trying to take care of these clients, delivering parts to these clients, and the time it takes for wholesale counter person, or possibly even your back counter person who's utilizing some of their time to handle wholesale accounts on that. So if you have any questions about wholesale parts or any aspect of parts department operations, feel free to reach out to us sometime with any questions that you might have. I'm Rick Wegley. Thanks for joining me on this month's edition of Ask NCM. If you have a question or topic you'd like to see us address on a future episode, please email your request to askncm@ncmassociates.com.